Hello there. Got the old itchy nose tonight. Well, it's Saturday night, isn't it? It must be about the 16th of May, I think. And this is BOBCAST, recording at my usual time, about 24 minutes past 9 o'clock. How are you? Have you had a good day? Have you had an interesting day? Have you had a jolly day? Have you had a bad day? Whatever type of day you've had, then thinking of you. And, if you're struggling to come to terms with where you now are, that's okay. It'll get better. It'll pass. Promise you, it'll be okay. So, gosh, I admire people. There's lots of people you admire. Sometimes I see the fortitude and the strength that people have. And we're not always very good at telling them, are we? We're not actually good at saying to people, you just make me smile. You bring a lot of sunshine into my life. Thank you. You make me buzz. You make me exciting. You make me jolly. You make me bright. Oh, you absolutely piss me off. Oh, sorry, I'm not allowed to say that, am I? Have I got a dog collar on? No, I haven't. That's all right. That's not so bad. So perhaps tomorrow has got to be the day that we say to people, thank you. Thank you for being you, for all the gifts that you bring. There's a terrible little children's hymn, isn't there? I don't know if it's terrible. I didn't particularly like it. It goes, I just thank you, Jesus, for making me me, because you gave me a smile and you gave me a do. You know the one, Google it, if not, sing it into Shazam, see whether it comes up, and have a go. So, we need to tell people, so I quite often put prayers up saying, God speaking, I see you and I admire you for all you do and all the things that you do. So the hair's doing well. I went today to get a hairpiece, and I was told it was going to cost £25, and I thought, gosh, that's a small price to pay. I think I've told you that one before, but there we go. Yeah. Well, today's been interesting today because I've had a bit of a breakout. No, I haven't got zits all over my face, don't worry. I had a bit of a breakout because I went shopping. And I went out of Kelso. I went all the way to the grand metropolis known as Galashiels. And I went to Marks and Spencer's. Well, apart from the fact I had to stand in the queue for a long time, somebody said to me, for goodness sake, would you stop standing like and acting like a flamingo? So I had to put my foot down. But I went to Marks and Spencer's in Galashiels, queued up, and that did take a long time. And anyhow, I had quite a good time wandering around. Spent a fortune. Spent 46 quid. I mean, that's not a lot to you rich, wealthy young people, but to a humble boy like me, that's quite a lot. That's more than I usually spend when I go shopping. Bought quite well. Before I say that, I was a bit concerned, really. It was a strange feeling because you've all done this and I haven't. You queue outside and you go in one at a time. There was a very kind lady wiping down the trolley before I used it. So she wiped the handles and everything. So I thought it was very, very nice of her. I was a bit surprised that when I gave the trolley back, she threw it in the scrap. But anyhow, so I got this trolley and off I went walking around. And of course, you have to socially distance. And I knew, because I had read in books and online, that you're not allowed to pick things up and look at them, which is what I tend to do. Look at them and put them back and then go back and pick them up again. I'm a nightmare when I'm shopping. And it was a little bit like, it reminded me a bit of that television programme, The Handmaid's Tale. Do you remember that? I don't know if you saw it. It was a deeply shocking but electrifying programme. It hooked you in. And just an incredible world. But when they went shopping, they all sort of glided round. And there was no music in the supermarkets. And nobody was really interacting at all. And when they wanted to have a conversation, they went to the fridges at the back. And they all both opened the doors at the same time and spoke from one side of the fridge to the other. And it reminded me a bit like that. As I sort of glided round. Anyhow, I wonder if you can guess what I treated myself to. Yes, a curry. Wasn't a homemade one, it was a curry. And you could have guessed, because I've given you a bit of a clue there. the sleeve there. There's some more further down. I thought I was going to eat it quite well. Fortunately, it hasn't got up my nice shuffle jacket. But I've been wearing that all day because I've been chilly. I thought this shirt would do 2, if not 3 days. But, well, we're going to boil it and make stock. And use it for the odd samosa and things. So a very nice chicken tikka masala. Last time I was there, I had chicken tikka masala, which is the same as chicken tikka, only otter. Yes, I know, it's not. It's old, isn't it? So I bought that and various other things. And then I went on the big petrol chase, or diesel actually. Went to Asda and priced diesel at Asda, but then went to Esso, which was about the same price at a couple of pence a litre difference. But I'd had a nectar reward that said I would get 7 times the usual number of nectar points if I filled up with Esso. So Esso it was. Well, that's exciting. I remember when do you remember that advert? Boom, 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 Esso Blue. Actually, that wasn't petrol. That was paraffin, I think. But Esso's been around a long time. So, real excitement. Esso, fuel, shopping in Marks and Spencer's. Bit of a look round, drove home the country way. Thank God I live in the Borders. Gosh, they're beautiful. They really are quite stunning, and that was good. That was very good. So I felt quite liberated, really, getting out like that. And made me think, well, what would I do if I wasn't a priest? I thought maybe I could get myself a job cleaning mirrors. You know, it's something I can see myself doing, if I'm honest. So anyhow, then as I got back, I had a walk around town and had a discussion, you know, from 6 feet back. It's quite difficult to have discussions in town with this person who was a member of the Flat Earth Society. There seem to be quite a few of them around at the moment. And we had this big discussion. He got so angry, he stormed off, saying that he would walk to the edge of the earth just to prove me wrong. Well, I guess he'll come round eventually. So, poetry. I've been thinking about poetry, and I've got this poem, which I found on a web... Well, I didn't find it on a website, actually. I can't find the website. But I found it on a Facebook page. It's by a guy called Alex Smart, who I haven't heard of, but I have messengered him, and he's given me permission to say this poem. And it's about a place called the Barrowland, which is a dance hall in Glasgow, which I've never been to, I must be honest, but I know lots of things and little songs about it. Talking of dance hall, what about that retired doctor on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Do, 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 do. He was so good. And do you know something? This is true. I knew the answer to every single question, including the $1 million question. And I shouted them all out before they came up. That doesn't happen to me very often. So, but whether I would have risked the $1 million question, I don't know. But what a nice man. What a lovely man. And he just had a really nice face and won a lot of money. I'm not going to do a spoiler, as the man said as he broke wind. I'm not going to do a spoiler. Anyhow, back to the poetry. This is a poem called Saturday Night at the Barrowland. Going to the Barrowland, try to get a date. Done up at best the nines, you'd go with your best mate. Lads would try to get a lass, the lasses to get a lad. If you asked how did you get on, you'd always say, aye, no too bad. Walk across the dance floor, you felt like Big John Wayne. But when the lassie wouldn't get up, you had today the walk of shame. Don't I tell you, I've done a few of those in my life. Dear, oh dear, hundreds of them. After dancing with a lassie, a lad would think romance. But the lass soon let you know you didn't stand a chance. No. At times it seemed so crazy, and it really was quite absurd. Dancing with a lass all night, you hardly said a word. The last waltz started playing. You had to raise your game to go and get a partner and then ask to see her home. But sometimes that was chancy and could be a real pain. When she says, that would be great, but we need to get the train. Aye, you saw her home, you had a winch, saying you're the best wee dancer. Then her father opens the door and says, "Take a hike, you chancer." Thank you. A guy called Alex Smart wrote that, and I believe there's some more poems on his website. I'm going to try and find those. Sorry about the appalling Glasgow accent. There's nothing worse than a non-Glaswegian trying to do a Glasgow accent. But there we are. Oh, some breaking news just come in. A police van carrying 12 convicts has just crashed into a cement mixer. Police are now looking for a dozen hardened criminals. I thought that was a Viagra joke when I first saw it, but obviously it wasn't. Right, so that's the old poem. Tomorrow's Sunday, and our service, as usual, is up on the website. If you want to join us, then we will be absolutely delighted. If you go into www.standrewskelso.co.uk and then look at the 3 lines on the right hand side for the menus, a drop down, it says Sunday worship. So it's me preaching and celebrating, and Grace is doing the introduction. So I hope that you enjoy that. Thank you for watching Bobcast. Thank you for being you. You're all really special. Love you dearly. And take care. Be good to each other. Be nice to each other. And should we just finish with our usual prayer? One or two people have said they're not sure if I should keep doing the same prayer every night. I should change it. I'm not so sure about that. See what you think. Let me know. So watch thou, dear Lord, with those who wake or watch or weep tonight, and give your angels charge over those who sleep. Tend your sick ones, Lord Christ. Rest your weary ones. Bless your dying ones. Soothe your suffering ones. Pity your afflicted ones. Shield your joyous ones. And all for your love's sake. Amen. This is appalling. What do you call a pig that knows karate? A pork chop. What do you call a lamb that knows karate? A lamb chop. What do you know? What do you know? What I've got to do to hurry up and stop this broadcast? Chop chop. Bye.